Good evening. Welcome. Got a good show for you planned tonight, guys. How's it going? I see you guys getting hyped in the comments section. I see there's Jacob, Pistonhead Productions in the house. What is up, man? Oh man, let's see who all we got here tonight. We got Jack, we got Russianese, we got Bashi, bruh, always. Daniel as well. Super Slow Camaro, Mint Chalk Ice Cream. Again, hoping you won't get murdered tonight. Right on, right on. Spiffy finally has the rig together. This has been a huge journey for you, and looking forward to when you actually have it together, and hopefully we can get some doors. Alex, Neff is in the house. Misfits as well. What is up? 400 Gaming. SJZ Boy, greetings from Sri Lanka. Very cool, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Fang Universe finally catching the stream. What is up? Welcome, welcome. We got the whole crew. There's Psycho Ease. Krapu 450. What is up? Matt Trinidad, good to see you. And Garrett as well. We have got, as always, 2 platforms, 2 streams, 2 tracks. Too fast, too furious? Maybe too soon. In any case, though, all dad jokes aside, we are starting out with a mod by Happy Tracks. They make some of the most fun tracks that are just like good, easy, not like boring easy, but just nicely flowing tandem tracks. They made Rhythm and Flow, which you've seen on this channel. They've made a few others. Actually, you're going to see another one called The Spot by them pretty soon in my next edited release. And tonight we are at one called Test and Tune Circuit. Kodaks, I should sleep. It's 4 a.m. Thanks for tuning in for a little bit. I'm sorry that my stream is so late normally. You know that when I get more holiday time off work, I'll do another European-friendly stream. Of course, it's always friendly. You guys are welcome to hang out, but I understand that it's just miserable timing. It's just the way the time change works, unfortunately. Jason Bourne, Hot Boy Troy Builds, what is up? And W9S9 as well. Passed the driving test without driving a real car. Very nice. Cozy. Reverse mounting your pedals is pretty cool. I don't really feel like it's worth the effort, but I'm sure if you get it done, you'll like that you did it. I'm just stuck with being lazy. So I'll show you the track we're on tonight. This is our drone cam. So as you can see, it is one big layout. It flows really well. It's got some faster sections. It's got a straightaway for big entries if you want to do those. It even has a little area in the lower left portion of the screen where the main straight comes down, and then the track whips out and around as well. And that allows people to get a pass or to change positions if they would like to go from leading to chasing for a little bit, which is pretty fun. Hot Boy in Alaska. Ooh, more like Cold Boy then. How's things in Alaska? Hopefully you guys are faring better than a lot of the other states. We'll see. Although it being cold, maybe not. It's getting cold out here where I'm at. Purple JW, how's it going? Fuoku, 5 a.m. The Morning Fam. We got the Breakfast Club in the house tonight. FB Mods, what is up? Brody Plays TV. The track is called HT Test and Tune. And all of the information, Brody and anybody else, chat, you guys know what to do. Help the people out. Tell them to go to the KameTrick Discord located in the description and go to the KT Announcements channel to get all the content that they need. So, we're going to fly in. Let's see, we've got this bridge, which actually doesn't go anywhere. And as usual, I'm going to be rocking the S13. So we'll hop in here, get the lights going. Make sure everything's solid here. Do I think I can pull off no clutch kick and no handbrake? Yeah, I can do that. I wouldn't want to do that in tandem, but we can do that. I don't know if I can start out my very first lap that way. We'll see. Challenge accepted. Alright, no clutch kick. So we're going to get into second gear, and we're just going to turn in, roll in. Oh, it took it a little too long to get going. We'll have to try that again. right here. Okay, now we're in drift, so that's the first challenge. I have to remember how the track goes, which I clearly don't. We'll do our transition. Gonna have to commit on the throttle. Ooh, just barely. Enough power. Rolling into the throttle carefully. I've not driven this track in a while, but I have driven it. I understand how it goes, and I understand that up here I'm going to need third. Just for a minute though, and then we have to go back down to second. So getting that to work without a handbrake or a clutch kick will be difficult. And then it's going to stay tight through here. I'm going to take this route. I guess technically I could left foot brake even if I'm not clutch kicking. That might make things a little easier on me. Alright, we gotta go deeper into this turn for sure. Ooh, with the wall ride. Not deep enough there. And this will be my last lap of trying it before we get into some real driving here. I don't want to bore you guys too long. But as you can see, for the most part, throttle management, line control, knowing where I want to put the car in advance. Go up to third here again. Now this time I'm going to turn the steering wheel in. And we didn't have enough. But I was basically trying to get enough angle that we could make it work. Get that decel zone and basically just coast through the decel portion. I suppose I could have used the foot brake again, but that's the gist. As you can see, it's pretty much doable. But it does feel pretty boring doing that. Hammy, what is up? Yeah, man, the drift sim life is not too shabby, I gotta say. I do this stuff in real life too, and it's actually pretty enjoyable, even without it having like all of the craziness of doing this in real life does. Some of you guys who are long-time viewers of the channel will be stoked to hear that I actually have the e-brake off of my rig. You can see it in the lower right camera. There is not presently an e-brake attached, and that means that I'm attempting to fix it. So we see the Z driver there. I don't have names on right now, so whoever it is, it's a surprise. We'll see that our Z driver is somebody who doesn't quite have left foot brake and drift figured out yet. He was waiting patiently to initiate, and then fairly quickly ran up and basically had to pass the lead car. I remember those days. Okay, so for our track layout here, it's mostly a second gear track. It does have kind of a cool little area right here where you can see the people driving, and hit the people driving for that matter. Oh, way too early. That's a fun part because it's blind. Dig all the angles, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I try to keep it interesting. It's a mixed bag because I can't really change camera angles while I'm driving. I don't have the kind of setup where that can be a thing. If I had a 2PC stream, I could spectate myself and I could have a camera angle like this, but I can't drive third person to save my life. Too much real life stuff, like it has to look like it actually looks for me to do halfway decently at it. So yeah, I try to give as much as I can with the constraints that I've got. Jacob Gutierrez asks, is VR better than a 3-monitor setup? I think it depends on what you're going for. There are definitely some pros and cons between the two. So let's break them down. VR versus triple monitors, which one is right for you? The main thing that you want to think about in this case is what all you do, what all you want to do. Possibly how much money you've got to throw at it, of course. You can spend a lot of money on triple monitors because you're buying 3, and you can spend quite a bit of money on VR if you want to get one of the top-of-the-line kits as well. But you can also get by a little cheaper. Pros for VR from a driving standpoint: it is very immersive. You feel like you're actually in the car. With the triple monitor setup, of course, I do get to see a lot. The lower right camera here lets you kind of get an idea. It goes all the way out to my outer edge. I can see that far on both sides. Basically all the way out the passenger side window. And just like in real life, I turn my actual head in order to do that. So in a way that's nice for me, because I can turn my head, or I can just like look with my eyes. And in VR, you can't look with your eyes. You have to actually turn, like rotate your neck, because it tracks, you know, your head like that. We'll just make the pass there. But VR is incredibly immersive. You really feel almost like phantom G-forces, to the point that some of us, myself included, get nauseous just from attempting to drive in VR. So I can't really use VR. My limit is about 1.5 minutes to like 2.5 minutes, and then I will feel sick for like the next 45 minutes to an hour. It's just not for me. Maybe if the tech gets better, I'll be able to use it. Another advantage for VR, less driving specific, because it is hands down more immersive. But another advantage is that it's got a better form factor. So triple monitors, especially if you get pretty decent sized ones, I'm running triple 32s. And they're curved, so they're a little bit smaller, but still, that's like 6 feet or something that you need in order to fit all of that. So the desk that my rig is on is pretty huge. It takes up a lot of space in my office, which I'm fortunate to have the room to play on it. So VR wins again there in the fact that you can keep your setup fairly compact. It would just be essentially the width of my seat in order to enjoy a VR setup. Downsides for VR, pretty much just that depending on the kit you get, you will have some screen door effect, and good like 2K monitors, which is what I'm running, can pretty much always trump present tech VR in terms of graphical output. That's a problem that will be solved in time. And it's not terrible, but if you're like a hardcore graphics nerd, like one of my friends is really big into gaming, and he simply refuses to tolerate anything other than max settings. And he will build the computer that it takes to run that, whatever games he wants to play. But he tried, granted it was an older kit, but he tried like an original Oculus Rift, which was quite old at this point, but this was like over a year ago. And he was like, no, this is undrivable. I would never play on VR, even though I appreciate the immersion, but it literally, like, he couldn't stand that the graphics were worse than, like, the best monitor money could buy, basically. So that's kind of a mixed result in terms of the graphical capabilities, because it costs a lot of money to get the performance that you want, or that you might want. And then as far as triple monitors are concerned, they can cost a little bit more up front. They take up a ton of space, so those are some downsides. They're not as immersive as VR, that's a downside. Although they're still really good. Like, I can see everything that I need to. You don't get motion sickness at all, that's not really a thing. And the graphics are as good as you want to spend. So I'm doing a, what is this, like 7680 by 1440p. It's a 2K triple monitor experience, and it looks pretty good. However, they do take up all that room. They generate a fair bit of heat. Oh, that's one thing though. They're more comfortable than VR for a lot of people if you're going to be playing for a long time. Personally, as a content creator, I feel like it's important. Like if you're going to run any sort of a face cam, I think that you can connect better with your viewers without having a VR headset on. I don't know if that's actually true. That's just kind of my sense on it. And last but not least, and this is a huge one, you can do more than just game with triple monitors. You can do stuff for productivity, you can do other stuff for entertainment, you can watch TV. And not all games are even supported by VR, and you really can't do a whole lot of productivity or work-based things. Like I can edit videos on this rig if I really wanted to. I don't a lot of the time, but that is a significant factor if you are if you're into editing or digital computer-based content creation. Having extra monitors is always awesome. It's basically never a bad thing to have extra monitors. Wise guy, what is up? Got distracted playing with the cat, fair enough. Yep, and I'm just getting back to chat. Jacob's right there with me. He's an editor as well, so he knows about that multi-monitor life. I'm lucky. For me, I can just say if I really want a realistic drifting experience, I'll just actually go drift in real life. So I can handle it. Here's Mint. He was saying he hopes that he doesn't get murdered straight away, so we have to murder him. Oh, he ran. Okay, maybe some other time. It's fine. I wasn't actually going to murder him. So we're checking out the track. I actually don't have to go up to third, it feels like. I thought I did, but we're making it work. So you're gonna come down the main straight here. Second gear. And we can whip into this fun little side alley if we want, give people an opportunity to lead. Then we're gonna blast up the hill. Transition as late as we can. And apparently I'm cursed in terms of being able to do my track strategy. We'll try another time here. So, we'll get started. We'll run up the hill with a little bit better line. You want to transition later here so that you can get farther up the hill. Now we're going to whip around, come out near the wall. Again, it actually is a little challenging. You want to transition late. We're going to e-brake up the hill, a little bit of foot brake if needed. And the goal is to carry enough speed over the blind corner that you get out to the middle of the track or to the wall if you're into that. But it's pretty difficult because you really can't see, and depending on your line, you just may have a rough time getting out there. And we've got some walls that we can run. We'll hang with this S15 driver, or not, we'll just go for the pass. He was going slow. And then we transition back around through here. This is a faster section, the downhill, so you're gonna get on throttle earlier. You don't actually have to go out quite as late. Be ready on foot brake if you need to, so that you don't go off the outside of the track. The grass and dirt here is quite slippery, so you do need to be careful. And that basically wraps up the gist for this track. My only real criticism for this track is that they have this rad bridge that we go under, but you never go over it. And I just feel like if there's a bridge that you go under in a circuit course, you should be going over it at some point later as well. Over the course of the stream, I will have to make an effort to get a little bit more sorted on that blind turn. I'm still just being a little too cautious, which is a fine way to start out. Use max lock down the hill here. And then if you want to, you can just run up after people, which is kind of a fun aspect of this track. Or not. Alright, we'll talk to chat for 1 second, and we'll look for folks to follow. Hey Theo, good to see you on stream, my friend. I'm gonna try and get one of my servers changed over to a US server. I really had no idea that the ping from Oz would be so terrible, so I'm gonna try and take care of that for you guys. I just don't know how long it'll take. I gotta open up a trouble ticket with the server. Jacob, stats on the PC. So I have an AMD 2700X, a NVIDIA RTX 2070, 32 gigs of RAM. Is that everything? That's probably everything of significance. Many, many terabytes of data. Just got a sub from... who was it? From Twitchy. Thank you for that. Welcome. Thank you for sending it. Benji in New Zealand. Timothy, yeah, I stream. And El Rutek as well, thank you for sending it and joining the KT Drift crew. Yes, the iconic mug. Big old mug. I don't have the police mug. I don't have the hot boy mug today. I have a, Jacob, I have a mug that has LEDs in it that flashes. It's great. Tom says he would like to see me drift the Black Cat County short map in a not slow car, basically. Fair. That might be something I can try. Alright, let's try get some tandems here. We'll do some driver critique while we tandem with folks. There's Neff in the 8.6. Look at those rad wheels. Oh man, those cars look so good. I think he's rocking the, what is that, Saber Itasha from Fate Stay Night. Alright, well, uphills have never been historically competitive for 8.6s, so we'll give Neff a little bit of leeway here. And all the left foot brake in the world is not going to help us. 8.6 is probably a tough one to get stuck in when you're joining on this particular track. It will be a pretty fun car on our second map, BattleRidge, though. That's going to be broadcast on my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/KameTrick. Love to have your support over there with a follow. Woo, what's up? Or anything else. And that second track, BattleRidge, is pretty cool. It's actually a track that I more or less designed, and then one of the community members made a reality for me. Canadian, always appreciate him. Let's see who we got. There's Misfits. I'm not going to pull out in front of this traffic, though. Okay, I think we've got in the Laurel, is that Alex Danger. He is tandeming with Alex, another Alex, like Marinetti, I think. But we will try and evaluate the chaser here. So we're going to jump up the hill around the blind turn. Creep around here. Close the gap a little bit. Probably on this transition. Looks like he's tightening up just a little bit so that he can get caught up with Misfits and Rootkit. And we are beginning to form up into some manner of 4-car train, we'll see. Braking zone. Somebody went off. And now it's just the two of us again. Alright. Gonna try and catch up a little bit here. I'm not warmed up for tandem yet. Pushing in all the wrong spots. If you find that you can't catch up to another WDTS car, these cars are pretty well balanced, so while it's possible that they have... Oops. Oh, we're dead. While it's possible that they've tuned up their car to be extra grippy and you might be using the stock tune, it also could be. There's Painful, not seen him in a minute. What is up? It also could be that you are just pushing in all the wrong spots and losing time. Or in this case, proximity. Can get really slow if the lead car doesn't take a pretty fast line through here, so that can be a little bit of a pain. I'm going to be conservative, little left foot brake so that I can check out and give him some room on this transition. So my goal, if I can, is to stay in drift while I follow. Oh, that's a whole lot of sketch. Terrible hand positioning there, but we're getting through it. You can tell that the gang doesn't quite have this track figured out yet. We're getting there. Okay. Did not expect that. And we'll just hang out and wait for someone to follow up here. Nigel, what is up? Yeah, I talk to chat in between sessions, and usually I will capture some sort of talking point and talk for a little bit before I just go into full-on tandem mode. How are you? We're gonna follow Misfits here. Oh, that proximity though. You braking late is gonna put that car off track. Let's follow Media Rich here. Or perhaps we won't. Looking for cars to follow. Here's Rootkit. Staying out of the way. So I just instinctively tried to pull out and chase, and then realized that's not where I need to be. Someone is barreling down on us here. I didn't think this track was that hard, but so far I haven't found too many folks that are linking it. Try to get in there. And hopefully soon I will be using my actual e-brake again. Gotta make sure you don't drop a tire on this track. we've got an R34 squiggly here. See if we can tandem with him or not. That's going to be in the wall. I guess I'll just have to do a few exemplary lead runs here. Let me get the car sorted out. A little bit too much angle there. Alright, so don't really know what to say. You just kind of go around. You do have to use a little bit more power in a lot of places. Like we'll run out near the wall, come around here, run out near this wall, come up the hill, run out near that wall. Transition. I do transition on throttle more on this track. And then once the car is kind of past facing ahead, that is when I will let off throttle and give it a chance to catch up so that I don't spin it. Could have transitioned a lot harder there. I'll try that here. There we go. A nice snap to angle. Maybe flow to angle is a better word for the way that I drive. And we just come out and around. So you do have to be prepared to use some sort of e-brake or deceleration technique there to either extend if you're going slow, which I was slow that time, or to slow down, depending. We're right along. See, well, if we have any manner of track cam, that's clearly a shit one. Just right along with some folks. I'll catch up with chat for a little bit. Palmer, you're fine, man. We're just rocking and rolling. Fuoku, this track is called HT Test and Tune. It's by Happy Tracks. Young Forever Media, what is up? How's it going? Capilad, how are you, man? Sorry, it took me a second to get the server link posted. It's always, the server is always called KameTrick Weekly Drift Matsuri. So you can just search for it by name, and as long as you make sure that you've got your filters for full missing content and I don't know what the other one is, empty. I mean, they won't be empty, but they might be full, so they may not show up because they're packed. 24 cars on this server, 32 on BattleRidge coming up at 10:30. Go to Fundido. It's LJ. Been a minute since I tuned in. Glad to be back. Help me start my drift stream watching your tutorials. Right on, man. Yeah, glad to help. Does being this good at drifting help you in a race while skidding in a turn? Is it the same concept? I think it can. So if you're talking about grip racing, you basically have a knife edge that you're trying to balance the car on. And as long as you can stay right on that knife edge, the car is going to be as fast as it can be. Inevitably, some of the time you're going to be on the grip side that's a little too slow, and other times you might be on the drift side where you're going a little too aggressively. So being able to drift at a bigger angle with confidence and know what to do, I feel like prepares you more to appreciate the other half of the knife edge. A lot of grip drivers go from grip up to the tiniest bit of slip, but if they overcook it and they actually get a little bit sideways, they don't understand what to do, and you see a lot of really avoidable accidents happen. And even if they're not crashes, they're like off-course excursions that could have been avoided that are terrifying. So I think that I think it can help in that regard. I don't know that it necessarily makes you faster overall, but it can at the very least minimize your crashing, your damage, and make it more likely that you're going to be able to have a long amount of seat time before you have to fix your car. See who else we've got. Looks like we're having issues with spectating. Some maps I can spectate all the cars, other maps I can only spectate mine and one other car, which is really annoying. We'll just come up here to our aerial cam for a little bit. These cars are TDL, too dang loud. Wise guy, if I had to swap any other engine in my car, 13B Turbo or 2JZ. Justin said that he'll be able to play next week. Very good. Hopefully you get your pedals in. That'll be rad. And happy early birthday. Zach, maybe I'll catch you when you switch. Currently being held hostage by the dog. Right on. Yeah, we've got another hour before track change, so we got a while. Rooney says, if I need to extend and slow down, I often find myself braking and e-braking. I don't really ever need to extend and slow down at the same time, but if you mean that you need to slow down, and so you're going to use the foot brake to accomplish that, but you want to make sure that the car stays at angle and doesn't risk gripping up, then absolutely foot brake and e-brake is an amazing way to do that. I wouldn't have it any other way. I drifted without e-brake for a long time. I didn't have a good e-brake, my car was really slow, there was no point in decelerating. So when I upgraded it and I got more power, finally I experienced what it was like to need to slow the car down in a turn. Because when you're living the KA24 life, you don't have problems keeping the car slow. It just doesn't go anywhere. So I really began to appreciate how handy it is to be able to foot brake to control your vehicle's speed, but then use the e-brake at the same time, not really to slow the car down, but just to make sure that it stays at a nice angle. Because if you get really shallow angle, it's possible that the rear will actually grip up, and usually that'll send you understeering off to the outside of the turn, possibly into a wall. So you do want to be careful about that. I think it's a good habit, good way to go. Nigel, could you talk to me? I just got Assetto Corsa. Well, welcome to Assetto Corsa. I don't really know what to say off the top of my head other than that I hope that you got it for PC, where you can do all of this lovely modding, and I hope that you don't mind to Google things and have a little patience and do some trial and error, because when you enter the modding world, it is kind of the Thunderdome, and it's not hard, but it's not for everybody. If you want everything to just be instant and work perfectly on the very first try every time, all the time, it's probably not the best fit. But outside of that, yeah, it's a really fun game. You can do amazing things. You can drive iconic real-life tracks. You can drive crazy fictional tracks. You can have excellent tandems for very affordable and for not much in terms of crashing the cars. It's just a good time. And a nice little tight-knit community as well. Russianese, can you use spacebar as handbrake without clutch? No, not really. When you do, the car bogs and it's awful. At least I have not been able to do it. I can show you because it only takes like 1 second. So if you spacebar, well, that time it went kind of okay. I feel like if you spacebar without clutch, see how the car, like the engine just dies and then it takes it a minute to come back on? If you don't have an ability to clutch kick, then you're probably going to grip up because the engine bogs. And if you clutch, a few things happen. Granted, you're asking probably because you don't have a clutch, but if you clutch, then the RPMs stay the same. You can give it a little a little blip of throttle when you come back on. Not necessarily like a full clutch kick, but kind of a miniature clutch kick, and that makes it very possible to have a much better experience. So I recommend getting or having a clutch if you can. Anion says, as someone who got into drifting about a month ago, I'd say the community is great. Yeah, it's pretty rad. I want to catch FV here. I know that he can do a good lead. Look at his driver model. It's kind of cool how the Death Wish cars have a solid driver model like that. We're going to come around the lazy way. Catch up partway through here. Transitioning to decent angle through here. And ideally, I want to try and match the amount of angle that FE throws. Either perfectly or be slightly less is kind of how I prefer to do it. And I can do that simply off of weight shift if I'm feeling really gutsy. If I don't quite trust myself, I can actually throw a decent amount less angle, which will kind of make my car like jab into the side of his, and then I can just e-brake out to the amount of angle that I need, which will slow me down and prevent me from actually hitting it. And if you watch, you'll see that I do both of those, just depending on either the turn or just whether, like, how close I get to where I actually want to be. So like here's one where I kind of just drove, not straight, but I drove very shallow at him. Here I'll probably do it again. Run out of engine power there. The slightest of bumps, but I put us all on the wall, my bad. Funnest part of the track is right here. I'm not quite in enough proximity to get to do it. When you're going really aggressive and you get to foot brake on a decelerating radius with the lead car, it is just a really good time. Here's Aya in the Skyline. We'll drive with Aya. See how that works. I love the skin on that Skyline. It's like just a nice, oh, that's unlucky, but he makes it work. Well done. It's a nice, like, good street car look, where it's not the cleanest, but it's like the right sort of beat up, you know. Body panels are still in pretty good shape. Got a few tire marks. Got some rubber bits from the tires coming apart stuck to it. See what Chad is up to. Smoke never drift for you. Ready for some smoke or for some drift? Heck yeah. We got the Aussie crew. Nigel, so on console it's not terrible, but the mod content is not available. It's just not how consoles work. All the code in consoles is proprietary to each like game owner, like so. You know, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, they don't publish that in a way that it can be accessed by individuals. I don't really know the details, but modding is just not possible on console. Basically never has been. Assetto on PC though, for whatever reason, it's set up in such a way that it's pretty straightforward to mod. Wise guy, you heading out? Right on. Ethan, if you have a single monitor, what I like to do, let me cycle through the views. I like to do the bonnet view. This particular car appears not to have one. Surely it does. Let me figure out where the camera is. We're going through the different cams. Here we go. So on this particular car, it's one of the F6 cams, which will cycle you through. On some other cars, it's an F1 cam. But having this, you can see a lot more, even with the triple monitors. You'll still be able to get the idea. It's a little weird for me to drive, because I'm like sitting on the roof of the car basically. But as you can imagine, with a view like this, granted I can't drive it so hot, but with a view like this you can see a lot more. This is primarily how I drove when I had a single monitor. Another thing that you can do is look for an app in custom shaders patch under extensions called neck effects, and or install, if you want to go even more old school, there's a different mod called Real Head Motion, and it basically, both of them are mods that make the camera look where the front wheels are pointing, basically. So when you steer in grip, it looks into the turn, like it looks around the turn. And in drifting, because of the way that it's reversed, it actually looks in the direction that you should for counter steer, for drifting. So that's also a thing. Those only work in the cockpit view, so you couldn't do that in this view. And we'll go back to the pits because I'm not really trying to drive like that. But that's an option. You know, I think it's just do what works for you. Personally, I prefer cockpit view, and if you can run it, I think it's for the best, especially if you want your experience to transition to real life. The more realistic view that you can get, the better. On triples, technically with how field of view works, I should have my field of view closer so that my steering wheel takes the place of that steering wheel, but for the stream, I want you guys to be able to see the driver's hands, because I don't really have a camera view for you where you can see, like from my chest view, what my hands are doing. So that's the reason that even though I say it should be optimal, it's a little less optimal for me, but it's not bad. Let's bounce down to the bottom. Jacob getting back to work, right on. Coming up later this week, you got some ideas? Cool. Yeah, I actually want to, you're probably already long gone because it took me a minute to get through that explanation, but we'll do. And actually, I'd love to hit you up. I'm trying to revive my little Tandem Talk, not exactly podcast, but sort of just a video chat, hangout, bullshit chat with different folks in the community, and I'd love to have you on that. Although I would prefer not to make you my sacrificial first guest after a long time, so we'll see. But yeah, I'll get in touch. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna drive. I'm just gonna check with the last couple of chats here. Sminkles has a question: can I make the deep dish wheel straight to the base, or do you need the buttons? What wheel have you got? Are you still here? Right on, Jacob. Well, yeah, I'll hit you up. That sounds cool. Russianese, yeah, it'll be the exact same experience if you don't have a clutch, even if you have like a USB handbrake. That will be challenging. I guess I didn't think about that, but there are some of the entry, well, I guess I have nice gear, but I'm not like a gear elitist or a gear snob. I totally understand what it's like to not be able to afford a wheel and pedal kit with a clutch pedal included. But yeah, if you have a sim set up without a clutch pedal, your best bet is most likely going to be using bigger power cars than these that can just roll into throttle and have the same effect as a clutch kick. And for those, the engine bog may not be nearly as bad because the engine will come back a little faster. I could be wrong, but it gives you an idea. Now we've got a sort of broken 5-car-ish semi-train thing. Nope, down to 4. Led by Rootkit, followed by FV Mods. And then we've got Turbo R. I don't know what it is, but I just kind of feel like Turbo R's 180, because he's frequently in the 180, is just slow. I don't know if it's a tire selection thing or what, because he's always got a good line, and he's always got good angle. It's just not very quick. Like the car's down on power or something. So I frequently... Oh, rip. I frequently find it kind of challenging to follow him. Although not challenging to keep up. And speaking of keeping up, let's see what sort of cheating I can do to catch up to these two. Looks like I can just drive up to them without really doing any major line cuts, so that'll work. Way too conservative there, but I just don't trust it. Being the third car is a little bit more difficult. Because you have to go hard enough that you stay in drift, and you want to keep your proximity up a fair bit. I fell out of drift there, for example. But if you get too close, you're going to murder the guy in front of you. That's just how it works. The farther back in the train you end up getting. Oh no! Let's see if we can't follow Alex here. Alright, here we go. Chasing after one of the Death Wish Garage 350Zs, and these are fun cars. There's not too many 350Zs out there. I love the effort that was put into the details on this Death Wish Garage pack. I'm not a huge fan of how they drive. I don't hate them, but I'm very picky about how cars feel to drive. In sim anyway. I guess in real life I don't notice it as much. But they just look so good. Tom and the crew that worked on the Death Wish cars did an amazing job. Probably the coolest style pack that's out there. There were also some nice touches in the fact that they named the different tires, of which they give you many, after actual tires that folks use. So they've got like Kendos, they've got Achilles 123s or something to that effect. So that's a really nice low-hanging fruit. Like anybody could have come up with that. And if I was building a mod pack, I 100% would have done something like that as well. But it matters to be the first to do that. And they did a great job with it. I'll finish this lap up and then we'll catch up with chat. Maybe. Depends. If Trevor is kicking butt, then I want to do a lap with him real quick, or try to. First, I gotta catch up. Yeah, oh, well, we were assassinated by someone who needs to get kicked because they don't have a track map up. Russianese, let me see what you got. What is new here? The people that were complaining about the wheel must be Xbox users? I have no idea. Charles, thank you for sending it. Welcome. Snow as well, I missed you. And Adrian, sorry about that. Thank you guys for joining the community. We're happy to have you here. Guy, yo, after following for a year, I finally get to drive in one of the streams. Dude, they're hopping these days. It's hard to find a spot, but I'm glad that you're here. We're doing all right. We got 138 on the views presently. Y'all hanging out, I appreciate it. Happy Friday to you. Don't forget to take 1 second to hit like while you're watching the video. Ethan, you tested out neck effects. Very good. I will say there is a setting, and I don't remember what it is, but it's called something obvious. Depending on the track, there's a setting that will cause the camera to look towards the apex if the track is mapped to have like whatever, you know, indicator it is that tells it to look at an apex. So you may find sometimes, like Mega Tamata is a great example. I find that on Mega Tamata, I had to turn off some sort of a look to apex checkbox in that neck effect settings because it would flip out and like look to apexes that were nowhere near where I was at, and I made the car really impossible to drive. But that's the gist. Charles says, how do I play that game? Is it on Xbox? So this game is on Xbox. It's called Assetto Corsa. However, unfortunately, all that you see on my channel is pretty much all mod content. These cars aren't part of regular Assetto Corsa. These tracks are not either. The graphics aren't, the smoke isn't, the lighting isn't, the night drifting isn't. And why that matters is you can mod Assetto Corsa on PC, but for whatever reason, the way that consoles are coded by like Xbox and by PlayStation, you cannot mod Assetto on console, unfortunately. Now, there is it's called the Japanese Pack DLC that does have a couple of drift spec cars. It's got like a E30 BMW, like maybe an E46, an AE86 Corolla, and a Supra, I think. So there are a couple of cars intended for drifting, but I will say that they don't really, in my opinion, they don't feel all that great compared to the mod content that is available for PC. Of course, if it's something you want to give a go to, you can find it on Steam sales, and I would assume on Microsoft sales as well for pretty affordable. But that is pretty much the options out there. All right, we are going to get rolling. Do I play Forza? I have not played Forza much recently. I would. I haven't really done a whole lot of it though. I don't make content about it. I'd like to, I just don't have enough time. There isn't the E46. Well, there's some new BMW and I don't know or care what it is, but like there's an E30 and then there's a new one that are on well, I thought it was in the Japanese pack. I don't understand how that is, but I'm pretty sure there's another one. Alan, you've got to go into the KT Discord. Make sure that your filters are off. Probably you can't find this server because your filter for hide full servers is on, and the server is currently packed. We're going to do another lap. Following the green S14 of Misfits. Up the hill we go. Sliding off throttle pretty far there. Bonk. Oh. Whee! I'm just looking for some slidey homies. We shall drive with Trevor again. He did well last time until we got killed by someone irresponsibly coming out of pits. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I gave you the slightest tap and delayed your transition just a little bit. On a track with walls, that is a horrible thing to have happen to you. Fang, alright man, we'll see you later. Peace out. Alex, with the weird question, but does anybody know where I can buy Drift Team flags or garage banners? Yeah, Fang, it's good to see you. We will catch you next time. Place to buy garage banners. Let me see. You can find some garage banners on eBay, like literally search for garage banner. Outside of that, if you're looking for specific ones, you may have to go to certain teams. You might check out a company called Super Wow Factory out of California. Good dudes. And they make stuff for different crews. They made some stuff for Animal Style, I'm pretty sure, and for Super Drift Matsuri out at Grange, when they've done a couple of those. So they might have some stuff in stock that they have done in the past, I'm not sure. Otherwise, you may just have to go straight to the teams. So as far as like Drift Team stuff, I would recommend checking that out. And then if you're just looking for like, you know, BC Racing or Stance or Tane or Cusco, like brands, Nismo, stuff like what's behind me, I'm pretty sure stuff like that you can find on eBay. A lot of my stuff, I had my good friend Grant, who is living out in Tokyo, real life friend of mine from before he moved over there, and I've come and crashed with him once, and hopefully again soon. He actually got some stuff for me from like Yahoo Auctions Japan. So that's where like I've got a HKS, a Mugen, just some random stuff that he found, basically a Super Auto box. And we have one other one. Can't recollect what it is off the top of my head. Ooh, we should get a pretty spicy 3-car here shortly. Because I'm pretty sure that we're going to catch up to Turbo. Ooh, maybe a spicy 4-car. I can only assume that's Trevor behind me. Okay, all of a sudden Turbo is smoking us. Bros, don't do that. Got some charlatans on the stream tonight. Use your apps. They're stock. Everybody has them. There's one called Track Map. Turn it on. Look at the little dots. There are little dots coming by the place where you are when you're getting ready to pull out of the pits. Wait until there's not. Courtesy is a big thing in drifting. You wouldn't necessarily think so. The image may not be that way. But like, I'm being courteous to our lead car right here. I could annihilate him if I wanted to. What good would that do? That would be rude. I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Same thing in sim for the pits. You know, don't wreck the trains if you can help it. All right, we'll play Russian roulette with the pits one more time. And we lived. Very cool. Now we're getting locked in for some close tandems here. Of course, I had to say something and mess myself up. Some of that super angle crawl on those transitions. Can get really sideways on these super slow turns. I kind of prefer not to do that much of it. too much angle. Tires are probably done. So we'll come in, talk to Chad for just a second. Come back on board. In this clip with Nick Stuckey and Brandon Wicknick. Brandon is an ex-FD driver, or was, that clip is just over. And they are based out of Utah. Take luck, what is up? Shout out to you guys. E92, yes, that's the car that I don't know about. Charles, yeah, if I end up ever doing any Forza streams and stuff like that, I'll certainly invite the community to come join. Track swap is in about 20 minutes. It's coming up. Tensai, yes, you may join. All the info you need is in the KameTrick Discord. It's in the description. Join and then go to the KT announcement section, and all of the mod information is posted in that announcements channel. Not a fan of the Supra. It transitions okay, like you're driving it well, all things considered. Hopefully we can get you into a different car, a track change. And who's ready to see BattleRidge? Oh my goodness, it's going to be a gnarly time. All sorts of crashing. Eric, second gear for the most part. I like to use third gear on one section, but lately, like tonight, I've mostly been doing it in second, just up the gearing a little bit. It's a bad habit that I got into when I was tandeming with folks, and they just love to not have to use third gear. So sometimes bad habits stick with you. Do I think drifting gets singled out by the motorsport community, even if it's Formula Drift? Yeah, a little bit. It's just different. You know, every other type of motorsport is all about going fastest and crossing the finish line first, and there's not really any style to it. Like, style is driving fast, and so I think that that's something that is hard for a lot of other motorsports fans to understand, and some don't even want to try to. But I mean, drifting does take skill, and it is pretty enjoyable to do. So I think that it's something that doesn't have to be the way that it is, and I hope that, you know, folks can find that appreciation for performance driving, whether you're sliding or not. It doesn't have to be your favorite, obviously, but just enjoying it. I think it's badass. I also do grip racing, and I think that's really fun too. But for me, drifting is like the most carefree, relaxing, fun time. And that'll do it. Oh yeah, Alex, that's a good point. You can also use the Japanese term for them, which is called Nobori. N-O-B-O-R-I. Nobori flag. Primalin, yes, you can join by hopping into the KT Discord. Alright, let's cut a few last laps. Bam! And I'm just gonna skip the little turn-off section here. Put me in slightly better position here. We've got two S15s going to battle in front of us. We've got the first one, Rootkit, is the WDT Street S15, and the second one was the Death Wish S15, and unfortunately neither of them survived more than about 3 turns. Okay, apparently it's just hard mode tonight, because if you thought that this track was difficult, you have clearly not seen the track that I designed, which is a mix between essentially Drift Playground and Tron, and maybe a little bit of Ebisu Minami. It's a fast track. It's not super narrow. Let's see if anybody wants to catch a lap with me here. Fast track, not super narrow, but the main attraction is the neon edges to the track, and the fact that if you go off the neon edges, you don't come back. And we'll see that over on twitch.tv/KameTrick, and that is coming up in not too long. as I plant into the wall because I just got my hands all mixed up. Redmond Racer in the Laurel. Let's see what he's got here. So far, so good. But even the best racer can get caught out by my live stream curse, where for some reason people just wipe when I'm streaming, even if they're really solid any other time. We've got a S15 behind me. I will happily give a lead run because it's been a minute. Oh no, I'm dead. Yikes. Anastasia, what is up? Denmark opinion, how's it going? Doing well here, doing well. Final Bout does have cool Nobori flags. Andre says, is clutch in transitions necessary, or is it under a certain circumstance also clutch in when throwing a lot of angle on a manji? I do think that clutching in when... I haven't even done any manjis or backwards entries today. Let me fix that. When you are doing a backwards entry or a 360, there are definitely times when you need to clutch in. It's going to let the wheels spin backwards, which they're going to do anyway, but if you don't clutch in, then they'll spin your engine backwards, and that can cause it to stall, that can cause it to break, we're dead again. That can cause all manner of bad stuff. You generally don't want your engine to rotate backwards. They don't like it at all. So that's part of it. The other thing, and you can't really tell, but in the lower right of my screen, you see my kind of over-the-shoulder camera? You see how my hand comes over here to the keyboard? I have the spacebar mapped as the e-brake right now. And so a lot of times in the pedal cam, if I'm clutching in, it's probably because I'm either hovering my hand over the e-brake so that I'm ready to use it, like right now, where I haven't used it, but I could if I needed to with a quick tap, or I'm actually using the e-brake. And so I clutch in mostly for that. Like all these transitions here, I don't expect to need the e-brake, so I don't clutch in. I'm just hanging out. Just hanging out. Here though, I'm gonna have to e-brake right here. So we clutch in for that, of course. Okay, let's try and do like a backy or something. Let's see what we've got. I haven't even tried any on this track. We're gonna go wide. And we kind of went up the hill a little bit. Maybe a bit much. Definitely a little bit much. That's okay. I don't actually mind this. I would like to have another go. Maybe we'll do attempt a 360. We'll see. Nope, that didn't go quite right. But yeah, for those kind of moments, you'll definitely want to clutch in. It's going to let the rear wheels unlock, and it'll actually make more traction, and that's what you use if you're doing a backy to like throw the car past 90, and then the wheels will unlock and it'll basically drag the car back forward. I have a video that breaks all this down. It's like 15 or 20 minutes. It's pretty long, but it goes into great detail, both about how to do a backwards entry and how to do a 360 entry. What is up, John? First time seeing the setup? Yeah, thank you for checking it out. Glad to have you. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I do have a few shout outs for that as well. I've got Marcio Jr., Gabriel Araujo, Taro510, Duorked, and Delta S4 as well. Thank you guys for sending it and joining the KameTrick Drift crew. Misfits, no worries, man. Like I said, I've got this weird thing that seems to happen where when I'm live streaming, it just messes people up. I don't know why, but you're not the first. You won't be the last. Don't sweat it. There we go. With the super chat, who we got? There's John. Hey man, thank you. Just hopping in and checking it out straight away with the support. That really means a lot to me. That makes all the difference. I love getting a super chat or two. Thank you very much. we will have to get a few more laps in here before we switch over to Twitch, which is where I'm going to be next fairly soon. Twitch.tv/KameTrick. Marcio Jr., what is up? Hey, from Brazil. It looks like a beautiful country. I would love to go visit at some point. Unfortunately for me, the opportunity cost of going almost anywhere pretty much makes it hard. I feel like I'm going to be that guy that only ever goes to Japan. I hope not. I hope not. There's so many countries I want to make friends in and then abuse the friendship by having them let me drift their car. I'll fly over to your country if you give me a car to drift. That's the that's the way that it works. No, I'm kidding. But I would love to drift your car too. Alright, we are rocking and rolling here on our Fanatic gear. I always pronounce it Fanatec, but I'm going to try. It may take me like a few years, but I'm going to try and learn to call it Fanatic the way that apparently it's supposed to be pronounced. Still did the 360 a little early. Andre says, would e-braking while not having the clutch in sacrifice more wheel speed? Or is it the same? And Nathan, what is up from the land of Oz? Good to see you. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Dane, you know it is. You know it does. Oh, snap. John is just blowing it up. Keep doing you, man. Come on, chat. Let's get a hype train. Hell yeah. Thank you, my friend. Epic, brother. You will definitely have to come get involved in the community if you are into Discord. We have a rad Assetto Corsa community. It is, gosh, I haven't checked the numbers recently, but it's over 4,000 drivers. We've got Assetto Corsa drivers. We've got people like me. I actually drift in real life and in the simulator. So you've got folks who do both. And we got folks from all around the world. That's kind of the point of the channel, is to appreciate the fact that cars and drifting is a universal language, and you know, we're a group of drifters without borders, and we just have a good time no matter where we go, except when your fearless leader punts some innocent victim. Sorry, bud. It is so cool to be able to say, hey, I'm going to some random state or some random country, and people will actually be like, yeah, let's meet up. I had a buddy went to Japan on a 6-week study abroad. He was going to Kyushu, which is like one of the more remote islands out there, not on the mainland at all. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to Kyushu. I was like, oh, hit up my buddy from the the Drift Friends, and he'll take you around, show you a good time, take you out to a drift event. Sure enough. So that's the goal. I want to make a place where, you know, I can build a community, we can all hang out together and have fun, support my own content, sure, but also be able to just have like a network we can all enjoy when you're going and visiting. Like if I ever make my way out to Australia, I know that there's people who are going to hang with me and show me a good time on the car scene. Same if I go to Greece, same if I go to like Ireland or the UK, and that's rad. That's like the best. We're using the power of the computer internet for all these good times. All right, let's get it. Oh, a little too much decel on that transition. I wasn't ready. Nathan, I try to keep up with chat. I really do. Steel Spy algorithm sent me here. Welcome. The algorithm trying to do me some favors towards the very end of my stream. We're getting pretty close. But yeah, that algorithm is doing what it needs to do. We're trying. Andre, sorry for all the questions. It's relevant to Assetto. but I'm hitting OSW in a few months with friends. Aw, man, I got some friends out in Florida. That's rad. Who do I know out there? I know some of the guys at Enjuku. Kevin Lawrence is out there. Shout out to Kevin. We've got Kip and his crew with Break Shift. Cool dudes as well. Yeah, OSW's a fun place. That's rad. Friends with the same level as me, if not lower. Well, then you got to do your best. You know, learn everything you can. Help pull them up. Help make them better. That's what I'm trying to do. You know, at the end of this crazy YouTube experience, I want everyone who watches regularly to be as good as me, better than me. You know, you guys go get famous and then pull me up. I don't know. We're just trying to get better. Ace Boogie, what is up? So dope. I'll be joining y'all in a month or so when I got my gaming PC. Right on. Here, we'll show some real life drifting footage while I catch up with chat. No reason to donate if you can't, but if you can, please do. Amazing streamers can't do this without it. Much love to all. That is true. That is true. I try not to talk about it a whole lot because I know from reading chat that a lot of folks are struggling just to afford a good sim rig, and I would rather you buy that than buy me a coffee or anything. But by all means, if you are in a position to help, buy a rad sim rig, come drive with me, and if you have the ability to throw me a bone, I'd always appreciate it. Twitch is the place for that too, because if you've got Twitch Prime, you can do it for free. Here we're on board with my car. That red car is my S13 at Sandia Speedway, where I just avoided hitting a ex-FD driver in an IS300 with 3 people all in the back, which is why it was driving so slow and weird. We got the $20 chat. Spiffy is a big supporter of the channel as well. He knows what's up. Do I ever play Call of Duty Zombies? I have not. I am the worst at FPS. I enjoy it, but I'm seriously the worst. My gamer tag when I play FPS is Mr. Huge, and I have seriously the worst stats in the history of the game. I'm like the Doctor. If Dr. Disrespect is the best, I'm like Dr. Respect. Aurora Gaming, want to get into sim drifting? Any tips? So, if you are into sim racing, like grip, I would say that your pedals are more important than your wheel, but just get get what you can afford. You can always upgrade later, and budget stuff will sell on the used market. If you are specifically interested in drifting, though, I think that your wheel and wheelbase is more important than your pedals, because you need it to do that self-steer for you, like you see in all of my videos, whether it's sim or whether it's the real-life stuff as well. You'll see that I can just let go of the wheel, it'll cycle through my hands automatically, like watch right here. Boom! It's just moving on its own. You need a good wheel to do that. You need a wheel that is, frankly, more powerful and therefore more expensive than your standard Logitech wheel. So get you a belt drive Thrustmaster or a Fanatic, like a T300 or a TSPC, I think it is, or TSXW, depending on whether it's the PC compatible PlayStation or PC compatible Xbox wheel. Either of those are good choices, or of course your Fanatic CSL or Club Sport. Ace says I have the same car, SR with full bolt-ons. Very nice. Mine has gone through a few iterations, but it's presently, oh, there's Nomacan by the way. It's presently a V8, you can see there for just a second, as Nomacan says that it's rad and digs it. When I transition from the stock S13 wheel, when did I transition? I ran the stock S13 wheel until probably 2.5 years ago. I actually have an install video where I installed the Nardi wheel and the quick release. It's on the channel. Check out my playlist section. You'll find something like car mods or interior mods with KameTrick, and I will walk you through putting on the quick release and the Nardi wheel. I'll walk you through doing a harness bar install, which is not the safest, but it's okay for what I do at the moment, and how to put in a 5-point harness as well. Aurora Gaming, what is up? Sorry, I probably missed a comment from you. Oh, no, just in general, yeah, if you can, I really think a T300 Thrustmaster is the way to go. My wheel on the sim is a, I believe it's a Moko Moko. It's a Japanese brand that is not really something you can buy new anymore. This was a Up Garage special. It's a Maziora wheel, so you may not be able to see it, but like over here, it's like green, and then over here it transitions into a purple. Because the lighting is constant, I can't really make it look different, but for me it's like straight up purple when I'm looking at it from here. And then, yeah, when you move it around, especially in the sunlight, it is so amazing. Recommendations for a starter wheelbase? It's a Club Sport. I'm all Fanatec. Club Sport 2.5. Same for the pedals. Club Sport pedals as well. Car mod in the thumbnail. That is the Akuma Workshop Altezza. It is an NALS. Absolutely. Yes. It's bone stock. It makes like 310 wheel horsepower. It's actually slower than a lot of the turbo cars that we party with. Tam Pringles, what is going on? How are you? Welcome to the stream. We are having all the good time. Let's see. Just taking care of a few things on the back end here. That server management life, though. A lot of people ask me to make a server tutorial video, and I will at some point, but I'm still a young Padawan, and I have not learned everything that I need to know about actually doing that. I will say I have a pretty good handle on how to rent a server and how to control it, but pretty much everybody who asks for that doesn't want to spend, what is it, like $8 a month or $10 a month to have their own custom server. So I know what you guys really want is how do I run it off of my own computer for $0. And I'll try to learn that at some point. Just a little fun fact. Because it can be done, although I don't really think it's worthwhile. Like, it's so cheap to just get your own server. Mine are a little bit more expensive because I pay for the highest priority CPUs so that you get the best performance. I have some of the probably better performing servers out there for Assetto drifting. But you don't have to do that, and especially if it's just you and a couple of your buddies, you can definitely get by with just one regular priority, you know, run your 6-man tandem crew or whatever, and it won't be so bad. Abu Salat, I cannot read what you're saying. Hopefully you're not spamming, but assuming that you're not, because I'm gonna always be on the bright side, giving people the benefit of the doubt. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for checking it out. Dan War, or John War, that's a rad name. Using a G920 to drift in AC, and it doesn't have the self-steer, but it's enough to get started. Yeah, absolutely. And there are things you can do to make it better / less bad. You can run a LUT file. You can turn the gain up in custom or content manager and custom shaders patch experimental, I think is where it is. You can, if you really need to, you can lower your degrees of rotation. You can disable the centering spring. It will never self-steer the way that you see on my stream, but it will do better than it does out of the box, 100%. You can make it better. Julian, my 240SX makes about 308 to 310 at the wheel. Okori 6, these clips are from the Corsa Norman, or whichever ones that you saw, they were from Norman. Absolutely, yes. Alright, Abu, I'm going to assume that you're just spamming at this point, so bye-bye. We are shifting to the next map. That is correct. Billiam, coming from the Logitech G920, do you think the CSL as Elite is a good enough upgrade? It is a good enough upgrade. Ideally, like for me, once you go to that level, you might really want to try and get the some load cell pedals as well. But yeah, no, it's a great kit. One of my buddies is over serving in the military in Japan right now, U.S. military. Shout out to Vortex, and he has the Elite, and he crushes it. He does as good or better than me. It's been forever since I've gotten to drive with him, so I might be better now, but he does great. Julian, yeah, I've drifted my car on stock angle. I drifted it with like the KA and stock angle for a good while. Tips for keeping a drift car clean on a straight road. Or keeping a drift clean on a straight road. I mean, it's just monging and controlling your line. It just takes practice, I guess. Champion sent me a photo on Discord. I will check it out. Oh, actually, I happen to have Discord open at the moment. Yeah, that looks great, man. I like that that glass desk too. That's rad. Well done. I hope that your Fanatic e-brake lasts longer than mine. Mine only lasted about a year. Alright, time to get crazy. We are going to KameTrick BattleRidge. Yes, it is my track. I designed it, and it was brought to reality by my buddy in the Discord, Canadian. He makes some tracks. He's got some stuff out there. BattleRidge is an amazing track, and it essentially does not have any walls. It does not have any runoff. It is a toge track in the mountains with legitimately sheer cliffs. It's a road that could never exist in real life. But essentially, when you're doing toge drifting, you've got a tandem going, maybe a train, and the lead car biffs it. Everybody else behind them, if the lead car doesn't teleport out to the pits quickly enough, just gets destroyed, and it's a huge pileup. But because there are almost never any walls or anything, it's just flat drops, if the lead car biffs it, whoop, they just fall off the edge of a cliff, and you guys keep going, and it stays minty fresh the entire time. Hardcore track, and that is coming up on twitch.tv/KameTrick, and I hope to see you over there. I'm going to be live on Twitch in about 5 minutes. I'm just going to take a second to transition the stream over, to post the password in the KT announcements section of the Discord so that it can get populated with drivers for you guys, and then we will be opening it up on Twitch. So, as always, I want to thank you guys for being a part of the KameTrick World Drift Friends community. Thank you for hitting like, thank you for subscribing. John and everybody else who has helped in the past, thank you for your super chats and super stickers. Let's see you guys over on Twitch, and drop a follow. If you've got an Amazon Prime, drop your Twitch Prime as well. It really, really helps. I will see you guys there. Have a good night. Peace!